coach, ask yourself this. What do people like Alex Hormozy, James Smith, and Smitty Smith all have in common? It's not the gym selfies or the ripped physique or strength, although they all have the same thing there. But it's the cult-like audience. It's the way that their audience is following them on their journey, and they're raving fans of what they do. Now, in this video, if you stick around, I'm going to teach you the exact framework that I've been watching these guys do and that's transformed my business, so you can also implement it into yours. Over the years, since leaving the army back in 2013, I went through a lot of different business structures and I ran myself into the ground, but I was always successful. And the thing that I always carried along with me, which I've noticed all of the big guys do, is I had that persistent and consistent attitude of, regardless of what my knowledge is, I will keep moving forward. And this took me from running a gym for 10 years, which I sold in 2024. It took me from there to then running an online coaching business that I hit 10K organically, and now mentoring strength coaches to do the same thing. But one thing over the last 2 years, I would say right now, that has changed it completely for me is when I started realizing that systems matter and there are frameworks and structures that will completely 10x what you are able to do. I used to think that posting more was the way to get more clients, and to a degree it gets you more vanity metrics like likes, shares, comments, engagement, but it doesn't make a difference to your bank account. And the sooner you realize this, the more you will be able to earn, the more impact you'll be able to have on your actual market, but also the more time you have back. Because I was burnt out all the time from thinking that I needed to do more, post more. And actually, it really wasn't about that. After realizing this, I started to look into what the big names were doing, like Alex and James and the rest of the guys that you see all the time. And I started to pick up on the things that they were focused on. And it wasn't about the content. It was actually about the way that they frame their content and where they guide you and how they bring you in. Once I'd shifted to this framework and this model, everything changed for me. Rather than me having to DM and outreach, I had people actually wanting to be a part of my business and learn what I had learned. Let's break down the cult-like audience formula, because it really is as simple as breaking down the way that you are working with people and the way that they see you. So quite simply, first things first, you need to do some research. You need to figure out exactly who you are talking to and what their actual struggles are. What are their frustrations? What are their fears? What keeps them up at night? And this is one of the areas that a lot of people don't do. And if you don't do it, you won't find out, because you need to understand what they're thinking. But if you've done that and you understand, then you can use this framework. And it's called the painkiller method. So with this framework, quite simply, we've got 3 different areas. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. These are the main things we're going to fill out first, and then you want to fill out the other areas where we're then going to go into the solution. So let's look at it like this. Headache number 1. So what is one of the areas that your clients have a headache with within your market? What is the thing that's stopping them moving forward? What is the thing that's holding them back? I've changed mine multiple times because it is really important that you fine-tune it as you listen to your market. So one of the things I'd say is figure out yours, work out what you're going to work with, and then start to get the feedback from your market and maybe change it later on down the line. But let's just say, for example, we're going to go with, and I'm going to keep this quite broad for now, right? But let's just say headache number 1 is unsure what to eat, okay? It's broad, yes, but we're going to go deeper into it. Then headache number 2, let's just say we're going to go with confused on how to train, right? And let's just say we're saying that because there's tons of information out there and people just get confused and don't know what to do. Then let's say we're going to go with lack of direction, right? Because a lot of people struggle with lack of direction because they're watching other people rather than thinking about themselves. And they lose track and they lose focus on their actual purpose. So we're then going to go into the painkillers. So we're looking at these as in headaches and painkillers. So the painkillers are the solutions to these headaches. So I'm going to do this really quickly because, look, it doesn't matter what it says for now, we just need to work on this for yourself. But unsure what to eat. So look, we're going to give them a food cheat sheet, and let's just say we're doing a blood test and supplements. Okay, so that's like where you're gonna get people to do a blood test, and then you're gonna give them the supplements that they need, rather than having them going out spending loads of money on supplements and then realizing they don't need, right? Confused on how to train. So we are gonna give them, let's just say we've got a 3 core training. And let's just say it's called the 3 core training formula. That's your method, your way of training. Again, that's just made up, but let's just say you have your own method, you have your own way of coaching people, and it's these 3 core principles, right? And then the other thing we want there is, so confused on how to train. This is completely freestyle, by the way. So let's go with mobility and rest protocols. Right, these may be pretty boring for now because I'm just rolling them out. And then we've got headache number 3. So lack of direction. Now, the reason I pulled this one in is because there's a lot of people that struggle with this, because they are watching all the different, maybe athletes, coaches, everything else, and they're just getting confused and they're thinking, well, what do I do? Where do I go? So let's just say with this one, we're going to do a identity shift, right? We're going to help people realign and think, well, who are you? Where are you going? Where do you want to go? Super powerful mindset work. And then let's say we're going to go with gonna put goal setting. Yes, it's fucking boring, but we can sexy it up afterwards. But the key part here is, once you have figured this out and you understand what your target market actually need and want, we then turn this into sexy stuff. And that ultimately is where we then just make these unique to you, like a little bit like the 3 core training system. Like, you need to think of things that are unique to you. They are driven by your passion of what you believe in, but they're also different from the rest of the market. And when I say different, don't go down the route of making it crazy different and not really in line with you. It needs to stay in line with you. When you start to build your business like this, you will notice that you'll be talking to the right people, you will bring in that audience, and people will start to be a raving fan of yours. And when you have this system in place, you will stop having to think that you need to post more, you need to do some crazy shit, you need to dance around and do stuff that's not like you. You don't need to do any of that. What you need to do is to talk specifically to your audience. And talking to your audience, if you haven't already seen, I have on Skool a free mini course that you can join. The link is in the description. It is the content strength system, and it walks you through every single step. So if you've not already seen it, you're not on there, then you're missing a trick. Go and get it. It's completely free and it's yours. But let's look at the other bits then. So we then got the second pillar is, but the second part of the pillar is deliver magnetic messaging. So quite simply, we need to make sure that your message is powerful. Your message is talking to the right person, and it's giving them the opportunities to come in whenever your doors are open. But I open my doors every month for 1 week, and within that week I make it clear, I magnetize people in, and they reach out and say, how do I join? What do I do? And we need to make sure that this is clear. Now, this is a really big game changer if you haven't already got something like this in place, right? But we've got here, the way that you do your magnetic marketing is to talk to the people that are specifically struggling with these pain points that we've gone through a minute ago. You will attract them into your world, and then we go with something which is the DM ManyChat sequence, and it ultimately triggers the ManyChat sequence to then relay messages to them that are in a certain sequence that all the guys inside Launch 7 just copy mine and implement it into theirs. But it's a series of questions that you then ask or guide them towards something. For example, if on this post here, what have we got? DM the word secret. That's one of my ones. If you've not already seen it, DM me the word secret and you'll see exactly what it is. But it will automatically send you a message. Now, there's a lot of people that don't like that because they think it's all too botty and everything. But look, if we're supercharging your business and we're speeding things up, we need to get people to that point straight away. But if you do that trigger, it will send you into a sequence. There's a few things that we'll be doing here. Well, first of all, we go to email, we get their email address, and then we give them value and we build trust through email. We then can take them to YouTube video, just like this one that you're watching now. And the whole idea there is that we're giving value again and building trust throughout the 7-11-4 rule. If you've not heard of that, quite simply, it's 7 hours worth of content, 11 touch points, and 4 platforms. And this is the stat that Google think that people need to hit before they buy. So that's exactly why we do these types of videos. Again, we're building value and we're building trust. Then the last one then is Skool. So this is something that I was using years ago, and I've recently come back onto it in the last year now. And honestly, hands down, I think it's probably the best place you can be for this type of stuff. But we are giving people the information in front of them. We're using lead magnets. So again, the DM trigger might go straight to Skool. It might be a lead magnet, just like my lead magnet. If you've not already got it, you need to go and get it. If you comment the word juicy into my DMs on Instagram, then it will take you straight to Skool. I don't have to do anything. It will collect the email. It will then give you value and start to build trust. And that's exactly how that system works. So again, if you haven't got that, you need it in place. You're going to be getting your audience leads, customers and clients. We're working through that process to get them through that flow. Your audience are the people that we're, attracting in to say that I've got what you need. And they're saying that they want what we have by engaging, talking, following, etc. We then turn them into leads when they come through our system of whether it be in any of these parts here. We then turn them into customers when they actually commit to something, whether it be a small amount of money or their email address, or they engage in a way that you just know that they are becoming within your flywheel and they are going to start to move towards a client. And then at that point, it's a client. We work on actually getting people through the door, working with them and getting the results that you claim to get people because they came through for that exact reason. When you then get them the results, you then case study their story and then you're able to use that to gain more clients. And this is why the flywheel is so powerful and so important to actually do. And then finally, pillar 3 is the access ladder. Now this, quite simply, is a way that we can take away the confusion from all of your offers and the stuff that you do, because too many coaches are claiming to do too many things and they think it's going to attract more people in, and it actually doesn't. So what we do is, and this is what I've named the access ladder, is we bring them into our world. Now again, going off the last pillar, we've got things like Skool, which is, let's say, the lead magnet of how we bring people in. So my content system is the lead magnet to bring you into my world. I'm giving you value and you're gonna receive that value, get awesome results if you get inside there like everybody else already is. And then you're gonna go, shit, I want some more of this. And that is why we do lead magnets, so that you're gaining trust with people, but you're also getting them results so they can see who you are, but they've also put their hand up to say that they are the type of person that wants what you've got. We then go up to the next stage where we're moving them into the different parts of your access ladder. That is getting them closer to their goal. Now here's the really important thing. We have the one outcome, the one focus through all of this process. And as you go through the ladder, you are working towards that one goal. But this is the difference between a controlled focus versus most companies and businesses where they will have too many offerings to try and attract loads of people in, and it just becomes confusing. So if you are a coach that is, let's say, getting somebody competition ready for, let's go with high rocks, right? Something different to what I normally talk about. But you're getting somebody high rocks ready in 16 weeks. Now that could be your main top package, but then lower down from that, we have something else. Lower down from that, we have something else. Lower down from that, we have something else. You can have as many as you want, obviously, but just make it clear that each time they move up, it's more expensive and it's more specific to help them individually. Some people may get the result from the free lead magnet. So again, if you was to download my content strength system and absolutely smash it and think this is great, I don't need to move anywhere else, that was the missing link that I had, then awesome. I've done a good job, you've done a good job, and we'll be happy friends. But if you realize later on down the line and you think, actually I need more support, then you'll jump up to the next level, which for me is the 8-week Pro Coach Blueprint, which is taking people to the professional side of business. So starting to work on business properly. But for you and the way you design yours, you just want to take them up a notch and take them closer towards their goal. And the higher up the stack, quite simply, the more expensive it is, because the more access they get to you. So look, that's a wrap. And if you have stopped this video and gone onto the content strength system, then well done, my friend. If you haven't, then do it in a minute, because look, it will change the game for you. And I will teach you this stuff inside there. For the way that you build your business, these 3 things are the things that you need to study, you need to refine over time, and you may change them quite often as you go through your journey. But go back to the first thing that we mentioned and make sure you are speaking to the right person and you're attracting the right person in at the start, then everything else will fall into place. But put those 3 pillars in place, and I hope you have took lots of information from this, because I have had a lot of fun. I think this is the sort of stuff that a lot of people are not doing, and it's the thing that's holding them back. So I'm excited to see what your results are from this. So drop me a DM on Instagram and let me know exactly how you got on, and I'll see you on the next video.